Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Let's Talk Station. I'm Valerie Lorraine. This is series Shenanigans, and we're here today with Josiah Fraser. And you might know him from social media as Guy with Sat Hair. And he is a really big deal. We love him to bits and pieces, and we're so happy that he's here with us tonight. Josiah, welcome.
Thanks. It's great to be here.
Oh, we're so excited. Um, First off, tell us about who is Josiah Fraser,
Oh boy, that's an existential question right there.
right?
Yeah. Honestly, I'm just a guy who is dealing with the struggles of everyday life, just like all of us. You strip away the pomp and frill of every, whatever you want to, whatever title you slap onto anyone, and we're all human at heart, and that's like really what I believe and where my ideology comes from. And so that's really what I'm about. Like, I'm just a guy struggling with mental health and the daily ins and outs of life, the ups, the downs, the mundane. And I'm at my core, I'm a simple guy that just loves life and loves my fellow humans, and just trying to be better, and more self-aware every day. So that's kind of
Mhm.
what I'd strive for my content to reflect.
I think a lot of people can relate to that, no matter where they are, because that's it's pretty basic and spiritual, and hopefully what everybody strives for.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, real quick, I didn't notice the comments. I can see them on the screen. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's
we
pretty
get
dope. Nice.
comments. Isn't that cool?
My brain gets excited over little things like that. So yeah.
Well, I think I found my match because I do too. I just happen to already know that because I do the show all the time.
Seriously, I was just like honed in. I was like, ooh, comments.
Right? People are
And there's my
here.
best friend Molly from Wisconsin. She chimed in. That's dope. Hey, Molly.
Hi, Molly. Great to have you here. Yes, and that's a nice thing too, right? We don't get to see everybody because some people can join the show without logging in. So
Yeah.
there's probably a lot of people who are like, "How do I comment?" You need to be in the app and logged in, and then you can comment live, and it stays on the replay.
Sell your
Um,
soul to Google.
yes. How would you describe yourself as a child?
Ooh, oh man, we're going there.
We're gonna go there. And by the
Oh
way, you
boy.
can pass on any questions. You can be like, you know what, it's okay.
The only questions I would ever pass on, and this is kind of fundamentally who I am, is if I genuinely don't know. And I think sometimes the answer of I don't know. I was just watching a debate when I was exercising earlier, with Matt Dillahunty, who I love, and he was talking about the importance of I don't know. And
Mhm.
sometimes that's the most intellectually honest answer you can give. So that's the only time that I'll ever like pass on something, but I won't necessarily pass. I'll say I don't know. But anyways, to answer your question, um, what kind of kid was I? I was honestly, I was so, it's the whole like nature versus nurture thing. I was very sheltered as a child. I have, and still to this day have, both very religiously motivated parents. My dad is a pastor, and so I was pretty sheltered. So I know that now, but I didn't know it then. So I was very timid, very shy. All through grade school, I was just I. To give you an idea, during recess, like through grade school, while all the other kids were in their cliques and groups and everything, I had my rolly backpack, and I was playing hacky sack with a wall by myself. So like that was me in a nutshell, playing, you know, just kind of, I don't know, just looking at grass and just kind of like, I don't know, just doing weird shit. And so I was just kind of like the outsider. I still feel like I am, but like
Mhm.
I feel like it's manifested into something that can be relatable more so. Now that mental health is more normalized and all that, but I didn't know about all that as a kid.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I was good willed. I think I'd like to think so. And um, throughout high school, I remember I was, I shot up, and I'm 6'4", and so Like I grew like 7 inches in high school. And so like I was just this skinny, like lengthy, everybody's friend, wild, crazy, you know, vibrant colors kid. And so, but I never really like got close with people. It was just kind of like everybody's friend, you know?
Right.
And now I'm much more reserved, but you didn't ask about adulthood, but yeah, so that's what it is.
We'll probably get there.
Yeah.
And on behalf of children everywhere, kids do weird shit. It's just basically,
And you know what? And you know what? That's okay.
and it is, right? It's part of
Yeah.
growing up. It's part
Yeah.
of growing. So based on what I know about you, which is what the general public knows about you, really is your
Yeah.
channel and your what you show us. So, are you musical in any way? Did you play an instrument or sing when you were a teenager or younger?
This is my second tattoo right here,
Okay.
and it's drumsticks, and it's it's kind of cheesy, but it says more than a passion, nothing short of freedom. And all my tattoos are very unique to me and what I personally believe and adhere to. Whenever I go to my tattoo artist, he's always like, but it's all good. But yeah, I'm a drummer at heart. So a little backstory: my dad, he is extremely musically inclined. He plays like 5 instruments
Oh,
and really well. Bass is his main instrument, but so I went through all the instruments and sucked royally at all of them. And then the last kind of resort was my dad getting me a this Johnson blue beat up drum set. No, Sunlight. So Johnson is a guitarist. Sunlight blue beat up drum set when I was like, I don't know, 12, 11. And I learned a basic 4/4 beat. And then I went in my room and I became obsessed with it because I have an addictive personality. I have an obsessive, when I become passionate about something, like I hone in on it. And so I became obsessive with it. And I got a drum shield for my room. I got my dad a bunch of Advil for the noise. And I just like put on my favorite actually, I'm going to go see in a few weeks Emery, who I've listened to for 20 years. I don't know if anybody knows who Emery is out there. One of the most influential bands of my entire life. And I would put them on, and Chevelle and POD and all these like bands, and I would try to emulate their songs. And that's how I taught myself to play drums. And so then I did bands for 15 years. And I recently, like up until about 2 or 3 years ago, that was my life, was music. So
that is so interesting. And as soon as you said that, like you're a drummer, I was like, yes, you have the look of a drummer. So,
yeah. Yeah, and I was, and I consider myself very fortunate and blessed to have played with some of my heroes. We worked with incredible, like my band, who we're technically still together. We haven't played in a while. We're called Stereo Citizen, but we play, produced with Matt Squire and Eric Ron, who are like top producers in the industry, and we opened for like Panic at the Disco and A Day to Remember and like all these amazing bands. And I feel very content with that section and that chapter of my life, with the music realm, because it was some of the best times of my life.
and I was just gonna say, I was thinking like these are memories that are made forever and carry them
Yeah,
with you. That's
and they're
beautiful.
priceless, 100%. Yeah,
Absolutely. So now that we have a bit of background that you're musical and the drums, so it kind of gives us an idea of like you're snapping in the beat. So how would you
yeah.
describe coming up with the songs and ultimately starting your channel, which is incredibly popular?
So it's a very I'm not like that normal, like, I don't know, I guess nobody's normal, but I remember, I can say the day, like, and the moment that I became an influencer or
Hmm.
a creator or whatever you want to call it. Like, but it was a very long road until I was able to like quit my job and do what I do now. But it led, that was the pivotal starting point. Was I was coming home one night. This was October of 2020.
Okay.
Uh, and so I was coming home from I worked in retail for like most of my 20s because it was flexible enough to where I could do music and go on shows and do whatever I needed to do. And so like that was my 20s, was music and retail to support, to pay my bills.
Right.
um and so anyways, during that night, I came home from a late night of work and I got on TikTok. And before that, on Facebook, I had been making like, I've always been a lyricist. I'm a drummer, but like I love writing lyrics. I've always been, I guess, good at it. Like it just comes naturally to me. And so I would write music for my former bands and like stuff like that too. So lyrics for them sometimes. And so, anyways, uh, a buddy of mine was like, because I would always write these parodies about my town and everything on Facebook, and they were really popular locally here. And I was just on Facebook, like just for fun.
Right.
And then my buddy was like egging me on, and he was like, "Hey man, you need to get on TikTok." And TikTok was on the come up at that point in 2020, and it was like just exploding and like coming out. And I was like, "Dude, I can't do that. No, there's no way. I'm not going to do it." And so for like 2 months, he like egged me on, and I was like, "Okay." So I started. I started a TikTok, and for about, it was awful. For about a month or two, nobody gave a shit what I did because I was posting. I'm very involved politically, and I have a lot to say. And so I did these like political skits and these stupid little sketches, whatever, and people knew what my political background was very quickly, but nobody cared, and rightfully so. So I was making these little things on TikTok, and I was like, this is kind of pointless. And then one night I came home from a late night at my job, and I saw this video, and there was a trend, I guess, on TikTok. With the very tune that I use, that was a trend at the time on 2020. So I mean, leave it to me to beat a dead horse. But like, I I uh, I I used the song. I saw this girl post a video, and she did like, she was just like, she wasn't like clapping or anything. She was just like doing like a song about like something that I can't remember what she was talking about. But I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. Like that's pretty dope. And so I wrote one about retail, and like just about my grievances about retail. I was like, dude, because I had had a bad day that day, and I was like, you know what, like fuck this. Like I was like, I'm gonna make a song about retail. And so I called it literally the retail song. And I made it, and I wrote it literally sitting on the edge of my bed. And I went into my kitchen where I've done all my videos, and I
Mm-hmm.
recorded it, and then I went to bed. And I posted it, and then I went to bed. The next morning I wake up and that shit went viral. And I was like, what the fuck is happening?
What?
And
Right.
so yeah, so anyway, so then I made a song about Walmart and road rage, and like I didn't know what I was doing. And then I got political with it, like, and I was like, and whatever. And so, and I was very divisive. And so I gained a couple million followers on TikTok within a few months. And like I was like, dude, what is this? What is happening? And so then it got banned, and I went into a deep depression, like because I gained 3.2 million followers. It got banned, and I felt like my life was over, and I was like, what the fuck? And that really like caused me to take a step back and understand like the mental side of it, and like how important mental health is. And so then I started like reconstituting, and so I actually got a second TikTok account. I don't know how I did it, but I got that one banned at 1.6 million followers. And then now I'm on my third one, which is now back at 3.2, ironically. And so but it's been a long journey, and I just kind of like reformed what I actually wanted to say and the voice I wanted to have. And I think that mental health for me is like, I'm like, that's what I want to do, because that's what I have to say, because that's what I resonate with. I don't know a lot about a lot of things, but I do know about what I struggle with, and it seems to resonate. And now at this point, over the past like since early 2022, late 2021, I I've heard from just about every country on the planet that has internet access, and it's humbling every single day to get messages. And I read every single one of them from Instagram, at least. Uh, that, these stories of people. And it's really made me realize that like we're all just humans trying to survive in this world, and we're all dealing with the same mental struggles.
Absolutely, straight facts there. And so I mean, fantastic story. Like you really persevered, and that is commendable because sometimes people just decide, well, that was that, and I'm not
I
dealing
I
with that.
did for a long time. I did. I gave up. I was like, this is it. This wasn't for me. I didn't know what I had. I gave up, and then my best friend who's in here, her name's Molly. We actually met almost 2 years ago, and she helped pull me through. My buddy Josh, who lives in Hollywood, he helped me pull through. So there's really been like a good support system of people, and then obviously as I garnish fans, like it's really good because they're such great people, and like with such incredible stories to tell. And like I'm just like, dude, I'm just some guy. Like I'm not, I've never seen myself as like this influencer or whatever. Like I guess by the numbers that's what it is, but like for me it's like on the everyday basis, like when people come up to me I'm like, oh yeah, like I guess that's what I do, but like, hey, how are you? And so that's just kind of where it's at.
But you definitely have a story to tell, and it sounds like, if I can be so bold to say that the universe took you through something so that you could, because
Sure.
your focus is really now, um, making sure that you let people know that you care about them. Your songs are about like mental health and showing people that you care. Like your songs about
Yeah.
sisters and this. Um, and I think that that's very valuable and needed in this life right now. So
Yeah.
sounds like you were given a great gift, even though it probably didn't feel good at the time, so that you could come back and be even more powerful, but not as a social media sensation, as somebody who's very has a great gift for humanity.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that you said it, like, if you would have told me during that, I can't remember exactly the months. It was like August of 21, I think, when my first one got banned. And like it's if you would have told me that this is a gift, I would have like been like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
Because and I would have there is no part of me that would have believed you, because it's just, but that's the beauty of retrospect, and of the growth that can come from introspection and learning from, because life is like, I see it as we're all going to the same destination. We all have the same fate. What No matter what you believe happens after or whatever, it's like we're all like the same thing's going to happen to everyone. It's like the destination doesn't matter as much as the journey and the value in the journey, and the lessons we can derive from it.
I'm really enjoying speaking to you. You have said a lot of the same things, almost verbatim as I've said in the past. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so I want to put this out there because I found out and I didn't realize this. So if somebody is also interested in having a personalized song, you will do that for them too, of course, as a business. So
Yes.
that's really cool.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And it's great. Like I love that. And like and that's so that's something I had to grapple with too, because this whole like the whole business end of it, I'm sort of trying to get a hold of that now. And I was actually talking to someone the other day about that. Like, I don't know the ins and outs of like, I see people, I'm in groups where I'll see different influencers and they're, talking about what they do for their business and like all this stuff and like the ins. I'm like, dude, I'm an amateur when it comes to that. But like what I do know, and even my buddy Josh, he's pushing me and pushing. He's got me in connection with great people to have a merch team and like all that stuff, which is exciting. I'm glad about that. But it's taken me a long time because like with the songs, the personalized songs, actually toward the beginning it was like I was just doing that for free. I was just like, you want a personalized song, sure, like why not, like I wasn't putting value in what I did. And so I think that it was a real turnaround to understand that like, yes, I love doing what I do, but like time is an investment, for all of us, because we have a limited amount of it. And so we have to treat it like a business. And that's not to say that our heart doesn't go into it, because every song that I do, whether it be professional for my, IG or TikTok or Facebook, whatever, YouTube, it's or personal for someone. Like, I've done some incredible songs, and I like to talk with people, that I work with, and it's a great way to connect with someone one on one, where otherwise I wouldn't really have the time or ability to do so.
Absolutely. Well, let's take a second here. I'm going to do two things. One, I just want to thank everybody for joining us, whether you're in the room live or you happen to catch us on replay. We're so thankful that you're here. We're here with Josiah Fraser. We're on the Let's Talk station for Serious Shenanigans. Please do take a moment to like and subscribe to the page and hit that notification bell, because there's a lot of other shows on this channel. I know you really just want to come back and see mine, but that's okay too. And in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask our producer. I'm going to thank him so that he'll actually do what I would like him to do. So thank you to Quentin Ford, who's a wonderful producer and keeps everything going smoothly on my shows. Quentin, could I get you to pull up the reel of Josiah doing one of my favorite songs that he does? Here we go.
Yourself. You have the right to live your life and fucking live it well.
Uh-oh.
Fucking get up, keep your head up, you can make it through, cause all the fucking strength you need is right inside of you. So do not be so fucking mean and hard upon yourself. You have the right to live your life and fucking live it well.
Here we go.
There you go.
TV snaps.
Yeah.
That one's one of my favorites. And I think the best part that I love about it is that you always say my favorite word throughout your song. So, I swear a lot.
Yeah. 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 Real quick, I have something to say about that song in particular, but real quick, can I answer? Like, someone asked a question on here. Someone said, has anyone asked you to do a proposal? Yes, I have actually done one for someone before, which was wild to me. Like, that's so funny that somebody asked that, because I've done one, and someone asked me to do a proposal to their wife, and I was like, what? I was like, that's the most like important question you could ever ask. Why would you ask me? And that's part of that, like, me finding value in what I do. But yeah, that was incredible. And so she said yes, and it was incredible, and it was great.
Well, that's a big deal, right? I mean, she or they were probably a big fan, so it meant a lot for you to do that for them. It's incredible. Hey?
Yeah.
I love that experience.
Yeah, that song though. So actually, it's funny because, like, that line, like, "Don't be so hard on yourself." It's funny because that was a day I remember that song specifically, writing it, because I have this thing where, like, I'll kind of project the things that I'm going through in my content a lot of the time, and that was one of the things that was really going through my mind and my heart at that time. I was being extremely like, more so than often, extremely hard on myself that day, and I remember, like, the only thing I did that day was write that song, and I didn't even record it that day, which usually, so my process, usually I'll, like, write the song during the day, go in the kitchen, record it, and then edit it at night, and then the next day I'll release it. So, but that day, like, all I had the energy to do was just, because I was struggling with depression really bad that day. And so I was like, don't be so hard on yourself. Like, that was, like, honestly a reminder to me, and I'm happy that people like it, like you. It's great. But that was like, and I did want it to get out there in the ether, but that one in particular, I remember, was like a reminder to myself. So,
well, I love that song. That particular one strikes me, and I remember sending it to a whole bunch of my contacts, because one of the things that I am known for saying is that our self-talk is so devastating to ourselves, but yet if we heard our friends, somebody talking to our friends like that, or if we heard our friends talk about themselves like that, we would stop
Mhm.
them in their tracks. We wouldn't let them do it. Yet we allow
Right.
ourselves to do it to ourselves. So,
Right.
I'm always
Exactly.
but it starts with me. So, I always have to remind myself, like, cool it. Don't do that to yourself,
Yep.
So
And
so
it's
that
the thing is, a lot of people say that it's a daily struggle, but I would go further and I would say, I mean, it's a momentary struggle for me, like moment by moment throughout each day, not just a daily thing, but like it can change within minutes for me. Like I can be like, okay, I've got this, and then the next couple minutes I'm like, man, like what if I don't, And so that mind talk that you were talking about, that we are our own worst critics. And I think that's something to it's really something it's tough to overcome. um, but it's so essential, like I was talking about earlier, not to focus on the destination of actually overcoming it, but the value in failing sometimes, and in learning through those failures, and in the introspection, and the toughness of introspection is important.
mm, absolutely very well said. My next question just so happens to tie like right into this. It's perfect.
Beautiful.
Yeah, exactly, right? So when life gets tough, when inevitably it always does, right? What does Josiah do to get through it?
So I think that there's not, for me, maybe for some people, but for me there's not one uh end all be all.
Mhm.
Um so it depends, because, and again, my best friend who's in here, she can tell you, um sometimes I'll talk to her, and sometimes she can pull me out of it. Sometimes I'll talk to my buddy Josh, just my support system. um Sometimes I'll talk to my mom, just depending on the issue that I'm going through at the time. But sometimes it's not even about like an external influence helping me with what I do. It's like me just sitting with it, you know? And like, and I'm recently, in just in this past year, I'm recently learning how to just like sit with my emotions and to process them, because I never organically learned how to process my emotions. Um and so I'm learning how to process what externally is happening to me, because a lot of the times, I mean, this is a made up statistic, but 85 to 90% of life is things that happen to us. And, 15 to 10% of it is how we respond or react to it. Um, and I think that it's important to really just sit with your emotions. And sometimes they're going to be hard, sometimes they're going to be heavy, but it's just as important to feel, yep, we fight the discomfort, exactly, to
Right.
feel that discomfort and to sit with it, because then the on the macro level, on the micro it seems really depressing and really discouraging, but on the macro level you can come out of it even stronger. And I'm evidence of that, because I've definitely experienced that.
What I love about that answer is that I know that there is somebody who is watching or is going to watch who needed to hear that right now, and that
Sure.
they're going to benefit from that. I think
Yeah.
it's good advice. Sorry, I have a cat.
Yeah.
She's
Oh,
catting.
don't ever be sorry. I have two cats. I had to lock them out of my room because I'm surprised they're not meowing at the door right now. Yeah.
Right. That's yeah. That's a. We
Cats are
tried that.
gonna cat. Yeah.
And she's yeah.
Hmm.
So who inspires you?
Mm. Well, um, so it's someone that, if well, there's a couple people. Obviously my best friend, she inspires me in the way of just like looking at life in such an innocent manner, in such a genuine and loyal manner. Um, my mother is an incredible person. I'm very close with her. Um, she inspires me in the way of compassion and understanding and learning about yourself. I would say that people that aren't in my close knit circle, um, someone like, so probably the most profound person that's ever inspired me is a man by the name of Christopher Hitchens. And I don't know if you've ever heard of him before, but he was a journalist. He is a philosopher, a thinker, um, and probably one of the greatest, if not the greatest mind of the 20th, and I would argue probably of this century as well. And if anyone out there gets a chance to look up Christopher Hitchens, he died back in, I think, 2013 of esophageal cancer. But I so through my transformation of, like, because I came out of religion about 4 or 5 years ago, and I am now an atheist, and he was really just such a profound impact on my life and the way that I see logic and skepticism and reason and evidentialism and existentialism and all these different things that I am so passionate about now. He was probably the founder of my epistemological, like, basis for all of that. And then from him, there's people like Sam Harris and Richard Dawkins and Matt Dillahunty and all these people that are just paving the way for people that, because for me, like, I'm an atheist in America, right? And that's kind of the fringe of society. A lot of people still, we're in the minority, right? But what I'm trying to do is help people understand that, like, I don't. It's not that I say that there is no God, but I'm not convinced that there is one. Um, and there's a difference, because I think that I'm open-minded enough to be honest about, and this is what I was saying earlier about I don't know. And so I label myself an agnostic atheist, because knowledge has to do with Gnosticism and agnosticism, and then theism and atheism have to do with belief, which is a subset. But anyways, whatever. So yeah, so I think Christopher Hitchens was probably the most profound, like, turning point and influence in my life, if that's what I'm being asked. Then yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. And very excited to go look this up after, because I
You're
myself
gonna
love.
get hooked, I promise you.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Okay, well, I think you just named a whole bunch of people, but this is one of my favorite questions, and I like to ask it because there's so many interesting people in the world, and if somebody was to ask me, my answer would change daily. So, if you could choose 3 people from all of history that you could sit down and have dinner and conversation with, who would you choose so that you could just pick their brain and enjoy your time?
Ooh, 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 ooh. 3 people. I would say definitely Christopher Hitchens.
Hmm?
Um, I would say one that's another that's living, uh, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Um, I hope that in the lifetime that both of us are currently living, that I can meet, and if I could have dinner with him or just even meet him and pick his brain for a second, I would love that. And then honestly, probably Socrates. Like, uh, there's debate whether Socrates even exists, which is a problem, but the consensus generally is that he did. But I would say, okay, I would rephrase that and say whoever came up with the Socratic method,
Okay.
then I would have dinner with him, because to be able to pick a brain like that would be interesting. And then probably a runner up would be Albert Einstein.
Mm, good answers, good choices.
Yeah.
Yes, it's to me that question is just so much fun because there's so many people, and as I said, my answers would probably change daily because there's just so many influences out there that you know um, would be so interesting to be able to ask them
Yeah.
face to face and have that understanding of how things get twisted through history, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
What is the best thing that's happened to you so far in this life?
um, the best. See, we would have to define what the word best means.
We would.
Um,
Do you need me to do that? How
Yeah,
about what is the most enjoyable experience that you've had so far in this life? Does that help you a bit better?
sure.
Okay.
Uh, in that sense, I would say that it's a tie between a few experiences I've had traveling the world.
Nice.
Um, and so one of them being in Tanzania, Africa, and being in a remote tribe, a remote village of the Maasai tribe, which is the biggest tribe in Africa, and um, being in a remote village and going in there, and the men. It's funny because we took a 2 hour Jeep ride into the village, and when we got there, the women and children came out and met us with fruit baskets and whatever. And then we go into the huts, and literally huts, and the men, we didn't see any men, and we asked our guide like, what, where are the men at? And they, whenever visitors come, which is rare, they scatter and they surround the area, very hidden, because I mean they're really good at it. And so they hide and they're watching. They can see us, but we can't see them, and so they're surveilling essentially. And so I never saw any Maasai tribe man, but we went into the huts and we had this like ceremony thing, and I pulled out my phone, and the children, who were just the most incredible children on the planet, they came up to me and gathered around me because like they had I think some of them had never seen a phone before, and so there's this picture that not only that I took, I did a selfie with them, and that just you can see, and I can send it to you, the beaming look on their faces was just incredible. And then someone else actually at that very moment, one of the members of the team, she took a picture of me taking a picture, and that moment is great too because it captured that moment as well. So that's one of like the top moments of my life, like just being with these people who were so full of joy and so deprived of everything else that we in the modern and Western world take for granted.
Mm, that's incredible. I
Yeah,
Wow. I was enthralled by your story. That really sounds like an amazing trip.
yeah,
Last question for the serious. Is
sure.
there something that you are really looking forward to in the future?
Oh, 100% October. I so anyone that knows me, and before I mentioned I'm a simple person. Like I'm passionate about creating my content and traveling, and so I mean I'm passionate about other things too, uh, but I'm 100% so excited to go on my next trip in October. I try to take one a year, and I take my mother. And the last year we went to uh, Sweden, Switzerland, and Norway. And for her, like Switzerland was always on her bucket list. And so some of the moments there were just phenomenal. But this year we're going to, I think, 6 countries in 2 weeks.
Wow.
So it's going to be wild. But we're going to go see the pyramids of Egypt. And we're going to Santorini, Greece, and Athens to see the Parthenon, and Germany and Prague and like all these different places. But that's what I'm so stoked. Like it's funny because my year is based like no matter what I have going on, and even like you know trips to LA or whatever it is like that I'm doing. It's like I'm always stoked about generally September, October, because that's when I try to take the trips to travel the world. Because I think that
Time to travel.
traveling is some of the most like important and fulfilling things that you could do as a human.
Well, I've been to some of the places that you described, and I'm just going to tell you that I think you're going to really love Prague. I
Oh, I'm so
love
excited for Prague.
Prague.
That
I
was
just,
added at the very last minute, and I'm so excited.
oh my goodness. We will chat
We'll
after, and
we'll
I will
gush a hundred
do
percent.
things that you can't miss because yeah, it's
Yeah,
fabulous. And
And I
wow.
actually, I actually, it's so funny because it's, dude, so it blows my mind. But I, I actually had someone that reached out to me because I have people that reach out from all over the world, and
Mhm.
someone was, they're from the Czech Republic, they're from Prague, and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna give you a list of everything to do there, like during the day." I'm like, "Dude, dope! Like, yes, like, you know." So I'm very thankful for that. Like, it's really cool.
That sounds amazing. I'm just trying to very quickly read. Um, oh, what a beautiful comment. Thank you so much
Yeah, it's great,
for
Eileen. Thanks.
yeah, sending comments in. So this is the part of the show where we're finished with the real serious part of the interview, and we're going to transition into the funny stuff like that.
Sorry. I know. Just
And
that's my life. I'm telling you.
perfect timing. And but what I always ask my guests at this point is one, I thank them for joining us just in the first place, but for sharing so much with us and having such a great
Sure.
interview. But then I offer them the opportunity. Is there anything that you would like to tell the audience that maybe I didn't hit on, or something that came to mind?
Um, honestly, like, look, we're so I always have this kind of glib thing that I say, but I mean it sincerely. We're evident. I'm an evidentialist, so we're all evidently a semi-evolved, and this is something that Christopher Hitchens would always say. Actually, we're a semi-evolved mammalian primate species that is less than 2% away from being the chromosome of a chimpanzee.
Right.
Um, that's the reality of what we are. But who we are is so much more than that, right? And it's so nuanced and it's so beautiful and it's so tragic and great and mundane and all these things mixed in together. Life is uh, a blip on the cosmic scale of history that we get to enjoy for just a little while, a blink, really. But it's such what a gift we have to be alive and to be able to just take a breath and do the things that we do every single day for a few decades, because otherwise we wouldn't exist. So what I say about life is that it's a vacation from non-existence, right?
Yeah.
So like, so we didn't exist for billions and trillions and an infinite possible infinite amount of years before we were born, and we were okay with it, and we'll do the same after we die. That's what my perception is. um and so while we're on this little vacation from non-existence, we have to enjoy every iota of a moment that we have. And I think that it's so easy to, and actually how we've divided up the world geographically, that's kind of a testament. It's so arbitrary because like that's not naturally what happened. Like we have divided ourselves as human beings, and I think it's really important to get back fundamentally to what and who we are, and what we all have in common. um, and that is our sense of wonder, our sense of um, aspiration to understand ourselves and our place in this cosmos. And I think that that's a beautiful thing to come together on and to explore that together, with our different ideologies. So,
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay, well, I've enjoyed this part of the interview so much. We're going to move on. We're going to do serious. We're going to do the shenanigans part of serious shenanigans.
shenanigans.
We're just going to ham it up for a little while. Just for anybody who's new to the show and for your sake, I love getting to know people, but I also believe that laughter is a really important part of life, and that I like connecting with people through humor. So
Same.
sometimes it's my attempt at humor, and sometimes it's my success at humor. So we're just gonna do our best to have some fun,
It's hit
and
and miss for me, mostly miss, but yeah.
that's okay. You know what? It could be for me too, but
Yeah.
we're gonna do our best, and we've got some pretty interesting prizes too, just for just for participating.
Oh
So
boy.
our first question is, so you are now a thief, but
Oh
you
wait, I'm a what?
you are now a thief,
Oh,
but
I'm a
you
thief. Okay.
take things from your victims that will slightly inconvenience their life.
Okay.
What are you going to take from them?
I'm a thief that takes things that slightly inconveniences them. Ooh. Maybe their dignity.
That is an inconvenience. That one.
Because
Unexpected,
you can recover from that, right?
right? Yeah, you can. You can.
Yeah.
Some people can. Um,
Yeah. We can all aspire to do such.
okay, so we're gonna stay on the same theme for a second here.
All right.
So you make a call to some family and friends and let them know that you are in jail and you need their help. What are they gonna assume with before you say it? What are they gonna assume that you're in jail for?
Oh my God. Oh, wow. What would I be in jail for? Well, I technically have been in jail. Oof. Yikes. That was scary. Um, um, well, no. So to clear it up, it wasn't jail. It was a drunk. I got a wet reckless back a couple of like 5 years ago. So, anyways, what would I be in jail for? Oof. Probably. I don't know. Probably. Those like scenarios, like those moral scenarios, and this is gonna sound weird, but I can't think of anything that I would like really want to do that would land me in jail. So the thing that I think would be that I would ever go to jail for is if I were in a scenario where I saw someone that like needed help in some way, and like the only way to help them was to like break in. It was late at night, and like I broke into a store like to get them the help. Like there happened to be like next to a CVS that had a defibrillator or some shit,
Right.
like that I guess that would be the only thing. Like I broke into a store to like, but to help with the greater good. I'm not trying to paint myself as a saint,
No,
but like
but
I legitimately can't think of anything else that would have the impulse to do that would break the law
so
currently.
your friends right away would be like, "You were meddling, weren't you?"
I was just meddling. Yeah, just being stupid. Like finding probably not the best way to come to a solution of a crisis that I could have found a better way to do.
But you are six. We're gonna say so.
I love
Quentin,
it. That's a terrifying noise.
Quentin, our producer, is gonna put up our first prize there. So for you, we have a get out of jail card free. I said that right.
Yes.
Get out of free jail card. How
Yes.
do I say that?
Get
So
out of jail free. Get out of
it's
free jail. Yeah.
trying to say. There
Jail
you go.
is free, I guess. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't
So, yeah.
know exactly how it will work for you when you do need it, but you're free to keep it in your wallet and try.
Well, you know what? That's good because no one would probably bail me out. They'd be like, you know what? You need to learn your fucking lesson. So, like, I'll just pull out that card with the painted on Monopoly guy, and
Right.
the bail, the COs will be like, yeah, you know what? This works.
We'll take
This
that.
works. We'll
Yeah,
take that. Let me just unhandcuff you real quick.
get you and you can say like, you got this from the Let's Talk.
I,
Legit.
you know what? I need this laugh track in my life if we can talk afterwards, because a lot of times people don't laugh at my jokes and it makes me feel really shitty. So I need this laugh track
You
so I
need
can
it.
feel better about myself.
No,
Yeah,
right? I
I love
know.
it.
That's why we have Quentin here, because he
Quentin's
makes.
great.
Oh yeah, Quentin's bomb. Oh, now you've triggered him. He's gonna give you every soundtrack that he's
Dude,
got.
please. I love soundtracks. Let's go. Let's
Oh,
go.
there you go. All right. So, you're stranded in the desert island question, but it's got
Oh
a
boy.
twist.
All right.
You are stranded on a desert island. Who is the hell no type person that you are leaving at home? So I'm not saying that you have to peg a person with a name, but like the personality.
Wow. I'm stranded on a desert island. Yeah, I know. Thank you. I know. I'm trying to think. It's cobwebs. I know. That's all it is.
Complex question, right?
Um,
It's got a
yeah,
twist.
it's a complex question. It really is. Uh, I would say someone who doesn't have the propulsion to survive, because I mean, it seems obvious, but I mean, if I were in a survival situation, yeah, I watch Naked and Afraid all the time. I hate bugs and shit, but like I would damn well survive. You can bet, to try and, like, and so I need someone to like collab with, and if they're just like, just leave me here to die, I'm like, nah, bro, like, I'm trying to survive. So someone who doesn't have a will to survive, which there are probably a lot of people who would just kind of give up and die, then you're not for me. You're staying home, you're watching Friends at home.
There you go. And basically you're the hero in this scenario because you just saved them. They weren't gonna survive. Right?
No, I'm gonna leave them to.
But
I'm gonna leave them to rot. They can do whatever. They'll get what they want.
Yeah, stay at home. Watch Gilligan's Island. I just saved
Oh,
you.
sure. Yeah,
Right.
but if we were in that scenario and they didn't want to survive, then you know what? I'm going to leave you because I'm going to survive. So
Exactly.
it's not necessarily Darwinian, but like it's his protege. So there it is.
You're free to, at that point on the island, you can draw your line in the sand and just be like, that's your side.
100%. I'll try to do what Jack Sparrow did and straddle some turtles or some shit, Like, you got nothing but time. You're gonna wait for some sea turtles. They live like 200 years. It's all good.
Lots of stuff.
Love this laugh track. Makes me feel great.
Okay, so
this is how sitcom actors feel. Oh my god, so great.
Isn't it? What is the weirdest musical instrument to you?
That one. Probably the kazoo. Because I don't look. I mean, being a musician, like growing up in music, and like I respect all music, but I don't really respect kazoos. Like, no. I just don't. And like, shout out to people that play kazoo. It's all good. But like, come on, just pick up a harmonica if you want to put your mouth on something. It's all good.
I love the way that you.
Yeah.
Can you mimic so that we can like really grasp?
Can I what?
Can you mimic the sound of a kazoo so that we can really get on board with you?
Oh no! We don't want your YouTube channel being shut down for that. No.
Do you think that there's going to be protests over your response there, like people with picket signs?
I hope so, because that's democracy in action. But we'll see. I can only hope. Fingers crossed, as they say.
Right. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they don't bring their kazoos.
You know what? That's their right, though. They can bring the kazoos.
It is.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, my best friend just said that's what she said to the put your mouth on it thing. Okay, great, cool, awesome. We have to throw out Michael Scott. Love it.
Yeah. Oh yes, absolutely.
That's what she said. I hate you, Molly. I hate you so much.
What is the most current rumor that you've started lately?
So
my baby boss. Lying, I'm the father of that baby boss. Boss. I'm that baby's daddy.
You keep on giving him.
I mean, that's probably the closest thing. I don't start rumors. I'm an evidentialist, so like by my like fundamental ideology, I don't start rumors. Are like the antithesis to evidentialism. So I don't start rumors. At least not that I know of. If I have, then it's unbeknownst to me. Honestly.
No, so I now know that the rumor that I heard that you were already booked as a guest on our show and an opportunity to get you booked on the show was not started by you.
No, it was not started by me, but my cat has been known to start rumors. Selah is kind of a rumor starter that way, so she might have done that shit. Yeah.
I'm pretty confident that she has already started the rumor that her dish is empty. During the show,
she's a diva. Yeah, cats are divas, man. Like we think that we own them, but they own us. You don't see them cleaning out our poop boxes. It's all good.
Not at all. Not at all. Let me see. So actually for those set of
there we
questions,
go.
you
Sorry,
have.
Did you see that blackout? We just blacked out for a second.
Oh no, I missed it. I was.
No. It just blacked out for like, and then it did the little ring of death for like 5 seconds, and then I just came back. So I missed what you said the past 5 seconds.
Wow, that's like all on Quentin. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say that he saved the day.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that. So, Quentin is going to bring up the other picture there. That is your prize. So, Let's Talk is pretty big. You know, we think we're pretty big. So
That's what she said. All right.
So parking at the Let's Talk studio. So anytime you are here, you get the best parking spot, which is the arrow there. And somebody will come, either Quentin or myself, I guess, at this point, will come and park your car for you. So
I love it. Now, I have a questions because I am a skeptic.
Okay.
Does Let's Talk Studios even exist?
Yeah, you know what? That's a little bit secret and for debate right now. But you know, at this point, Quentin is in a studio, and so am I. So I would have to say yes.
Perfect. That's that's evidence enough for me.
And that's why I kind of suggested that it would be Quentin or myself that would be doing the valet.
I love that. I love that. Or we can just like train one of our cats to do it. Like, fuck it. It's the least they can do.
Cat.
I love this. Quentin, thank you.
See my cat driving, but she's pretty crazy just running around the house. But yeah.
Can you imagine? I would love that.
Oh, that would be. Oh my goodness. Okay. How many chickens do you think that it would take to kill an elephant?
So as someone who has raised chickens before in a previous life, I can say with my expert opinion that I have no fucking clue.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
it probably. Let me see. Hold on. This can be parceled out. Hold on. I would say so. Chickens are actually pretty fucking tough, and they're actually cannibals, which is a weird, crazy thing. So an elephant, the mass of an elephant is, wow. I would say it would probably take a flock of, I would say at least 700 chickens. I think 700 chickens could probably take down a baby elephant. A baby elephant.
A baby elephant, though, that's good to know. I have had varying answers because I have asked that question a few times over this season. And really it does, because you said 700. I had one person say 17, so I'm going to keep...
No fucking way 17 chickens could take down an elephant. There's no way.
Have been like wild chickens or on steroids or something.
Oh, those wild you know what? I did read a couple of months ago, I read about a wild chicken that killed its owner in Ireland, in Belfast, I think. And he literally like pecked its like neck out because he didn't feed him for like a day, and like he pecked and killed the guy. Like, so that was a wild chicken. So I guess if it was wild chickens, but it's still going to take like at least 450 wild chickens.
So
like,
I was gonna, like, that's a 1-to-1 ratio, 1 chicken, 1 human. So we would have to kind of multiply that out, but that's a math question. We'll save that for another time.
And also, elephants have much tougher skin than humans do, so that's a factor.
These are all factors. Yeah, we're gonna continue on with the answer, but that was very good intel. So when you go to a movie or you're on a plane ride and you are sitting in that chair, which armrest, right or left, is legally yours?
Left.
Left. Oh, okay.
And that's only because I have this weird thing where I like to be on the right side of things, and my left arm has to be resting. So if I'm on a plane, I always have to have the window seat. If I can help it, most of my flights I'm on the right window of the aisle, so I can have my left arm resting on the middle seat.
And nobody's
If I'm in a Yeah, and if I'm in a movie, like I don't care like what the person on the right of me is doing. I have to have that left like
right.
armrest. Like it's a weird OCD thing, but yeah, it's a thing.
No, but we like to know these things, and this is important stuff because, I mean, as we said,
Super important.
one's legally yours. Like, we feel ownership of these things.
Legally,
right?
Yep. Under the terms of the Geneva Convention and everything. Yep.
See, I knew that you knew exactly what I was speaking of.
100%. Yeah.
Exactly.
Someone, this person said, said probably told a bad Irish joke. I don't know if that warrants a chicken killing them, but fair enough.
That's a good friend, Rainier. He's in the building.
I love it.
Yeah. He wants both armrests. If I can get both, I'm going for both because comfort is.
I don't know about Canada, but America's the land of surplus. So if you can get it, then you should get it.
You should take it. I know. I'm all that, right? It's like the law is left, and the law, says that if the other person's not using it,
fuck yeah. And
nuts.
you guys are our neighbors to the north, and you guys do a lot of things better than we do. So you guys are leading the way. So if you say both, then I'm going to go with both.
Right. You should try it next time. If they move their arm, then it's yours, and it's it's that 9/10.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you're looking for a parking space and you put your blinker on. That is the federally mandated sign that is your parking space coming out when someone's pulling out. If you try and you're coming along and someone has their blinker on and someone else comes along and tries to take that parking spot, they should be indicted immediately.
Right.
Immediately indicted. That's a charge.
And they have to pay to fix your car.
Anarchy. Yeah.
Right. It's laws. We know what's going on here.
100%. Yeah.
Well, we have one final prize for you at Let's Talk here. We've had such a great time with you and just enjoyed our time immensely, and so happy that you are accessible to your community and
100%.
giving us your time. So we are going to reach really deep down in the pockets, and I always need Quentin for this one because he has the ear of the board, whereas the board won't really talk to me for a number of reasons. So we would love to be able to give you an Amazon gift card, and Quentin's just going to quickly tell me what the board resolved for a value there. Quentin?
94.5 cents.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Dude, I was legitimately going to say like 15 cents would be great.
Well, we surpassed, I love that we surpassed your expectations, but I also want to let you know that is the absolute most we have ever given out on this show. The board might be super happy you're here.
Now, I have one more question before we end this thing. Does the board exist?
There are,
yes, we do.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I think, therefore, I am. I like it.
One of those words that I don't pronounce very well, right? Existential. Very like.
Existential.
No.
Yes.
Thank you. They're out there. They're just not tangible, right?
I think Quentin is the board, and the board may be Quentin.
That's kind of the way that I get it, but he speaks about it in so much tries to deflect.
Dude, I love that. I love this guy.
No, I let him have that one because we get along better that way.
I like how he can just chime in like a deified voice, just like, yes, I am. Like, I love it. It's fantastic. Very Old Testament-esque. Yeah, very great.
Right? Pretty cool. Yeah, he's our well, really, he is kind of like, he's got all the controls, so he could shut this down in a second. So,
he's a deity in himself. Yeah.
From his point of view, you could assume that he's godlike and
there is definitionally no difference, functionally no difference.
There is proof that he exists as well. So.
Which is a one-up on pretty much every god out there. So yeah.
There you go. I
Oh, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it.
see you said
I
like
was definitely molded by it. Yeah.
all out.
I
I just
love
had
it.
so much fun with you tonight, and I just really, really enjoyed my time with
Same.
you. The great conversation, and I know that everybody is. The comments are flying through. Everybody's so happy, and I bet you there's a lot of people who are kicking themselves that they didn't know that they could sign into an app so that they could comment as well. But thank you so
Well,
much. And
that's
come
the
back.
beautiful thing about this is that once it's on the internet, and I know this from personal experience, it fucking stays on the internet. So
Right.
you're good.
I know, right? It'll be here. And so if you
Forever.
got sent a link, so there was a link that I sent you that you could share with family and friends. So as soon
Sure.
as we say goodbye, and that little live button that probably you and I are the only ones who can see, I don't know. But as soon as that goes silent, then that is the replay button. So
Beautiful. I love it.
all. And yeah, so Quentin, is there anything that you want to say before we leave?
God,
Right.
are you there?
My baby boss. Lying, I'm the father of that baby boss. Boss.
Some things are for different shows, Quentin. So
That's about right. That's about
right.
right.
All right. Well, we're gonna sign off. So to everybody, once again, thank you to Josiah Fraser for giving us our time and having such great conversation. Thank you to our producer Quentin, who has just been excellent over this entire season, making sure that we have no problems and a lot of laughs as well. And thank you to you for watching. So if you are watching this live or on the replay, please do hit the subscribe button, like the show, and hit that notification bell so that, next week I might have a guest who's better or worse than this one, but we're only one way to find out, right? So
Probably better. Yeah.
we don't know until we're there. So
Yeah.
but
I can talk to my cat if you want. She can get on here next week. It's all good.
Well, your cat and my cat could probably have a great conversation. And knowing this world, I bet you it would be the best viewed show.
She's a beautiful cat. I'll show you. Yeah.
Yeah, mine's wandering around here somewhere. But anyways, thank you so much, everybody. And Quentin, I will let you log us off, and Josiah will chat behind the scenes here.